Okay, so for this video, I'm going to show you how to insert tables into your Google Doc. So in order to do this, you'll see today we're going to do three different tables: our qualitative observations table, our raw data table, and our process data table. Now, to know what these tables look like, our first step is always going to be looking at our lab guide. So I'm in the grade 7 lab design guide, and I'm just going to scroll down to the table. So the first one you'll see is the qualitative observations table. And it should have two different columns, one where you're putting your independent variable and one where you're putting your observation. So for this first table that we're doing for this first lab, we only actually have 3 scenarios. So I'm going to make my table 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and I'm going to make it 2 columns. So I'm going to go back into Google Sheets. To insert a table, you press Insert, you go to Table, and then I'm going to go 2 and 4. So I'm making a 2 by 4 table, and there it is. So in my first column, I'm going to write my independent variable, which for this happens to be temperature. And then I'm also going to include the units. I can't write degrees Celsius, so I'm just going to insert the special character. When you get to special character, just look up degrees, and there it is. This is what I want, so I'm just going to press it. And then magically, when I close this, we'll hope for it's there. There it is. Okay. So then over here, we're just going to write in observations. I'm going to write my 3 scenarios here. So I've got 12 degrees Celsius, 22 degrees Celsius, and 52 degrees Celsius. What's important to remember when you're doing a table is you're always going to put the units in the top in brackets, and you're not going to put the units next to each number. This is partially because scientists are lazy, so we're only going to write the units this one time. It's also because later, if we transfer any of these numbers to Excel, we want them to be numbers and not a mixture of numbers and letters. So please do not write the unit next to each of these numbers. You're just going to write it once in the heading. Okay? So that was a pretty easy table. For our second data table, the raw data table, we'll see it's a little bit trickier. So if we scroll down to what we want our raw data table to look like, we'll see that here we've got some merged cells. So we want to look at what are the total number of rows we need. Well, we need this row, 1, 2, and then we need 3 different scenarios. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 different columns. So let's go in. We're going to do the exact same thing. So we press Insert, Table, and then I said that I'm going to have it 4 by 5. So I'm going to insert that. Now I've got my table here. What we'll notice is we need to do a little bit of merging. So we need to merge these where we're going to put our dependent variable. So let's merge all of those. So again, we're just going to press, we haven't done this before. So press Merge Cells. And in here, we're going to write the dependent variable. So our dependent variable for this was time, and we calculated our time in seconds. So again, we're going to put that in brackets. If we want to center this, we're just going to press this whole thing, and then we can press this little center button. Then in here, you're going to write trial 1, trial 2, and trial 3. So that we've got room for all 3 of our trials. And then on here, we'll notice we put the independent variable again in the title there. So we're going to merge these 2. And then our independent variable, I'm just going to copy and paste it from up here. And then put it down here. Okay, so now we've got our raw data table. I'm just going to write in the different scenarios we're doing. So again, we're doing 12 degrees, 22 degrees, and 52 degrees. Again, I'm not writing the unit next to it because I put it up here in the top. Now, the final data table that we're going to do is our process data table. And for grade 7, we're always going to include 2 things in our process data table. We're going to include the average time, or the average of the dependent variable, and then the range. Okay, so again, we're going to need 1, 2, 3 columns, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. I'm going to go back to Google Doc, insert. We all know how to do this now. Now I already forget. I think we said 4 by 3. Okay. So again, I'm going to write my independent variable here, and I'm just going to copy and paste it again from up here. And then I'm going to write the average time. Again, that's going to be in seconds. And then I'm going to create the range, and the unit for the range is again seconds, because that's what we measured our dependent variable in. So that is your process data table. Whoops, I forgot to add the fourth row. So right now I have space to put 12 degrees, put 22 degrees, but I forgot to put a row. So what I can do is just highlight this last row. Oops, I put an email. And then if I right click, I can just say insert row below, and that'll give me another row. So I'm going to write there. So that is it. That is how you make data tables.